All right, you wonderful people. This time we want to look at the new Inspiron 15. This would be the 3535 model. So there was a 3530, which is the Intel, and this is now the AMD version. So we're going to have a look at this one. This is hopefully going to be a shorter video because there's only two processors to have a look at. And it's actually surprising because this price is really good, but the pass mark, we have to look at the pass mark to see what we get. All right, so 329, not bad, because the Intel versions of these start, I think it's a little under $400. This one starts under 350, right? 330. Okay, so I mean that's fairly cheap. Okay, so let's have a look at it. So there's two options: the Ryzen 5 7520U and also the 7730U. That's a Ryzen 7. Now, when I saw this at first, I said, oh, okay, awesome. This is a Ryzen 5, so it should be very powerful. I was really surprised, though, when I had a look at the pass mark for this, and that is when I realized why the price was so low. The price is cheap because this is a very basic, in terms of nowadays standards, a very basic laptop processor in terms of the power, right? So I remember I said anything less than 10,000, anything more than 10,000 is a fairly decent laptop that will get you through school, get you through basic work, that kind of thing. Well, this laptop is less than 10,000, but it's not so far less than 10,000. So it's just about what you should purchase nowadays. You should try not to purchase anything less than this value nowadays for the price, the price points versus the performance that you could get. And again, this is a very cheap price at $32.99, right? 99. All right, so that's $330. That's still not bad for the price. And what you get for that is the AMD 7520, and it does come with 8 gigabytes of DDR5 5500MT. So you get some decent speed RAM. You won't get the highest speed RAM. And these processors, by the way, are 2023 processors. They're not the latest. So in terms of AI and stuff like that, and if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a laptop, but you still want something to work until there's better options available because AI is coming out, then you could probably go with this. But don't go with this if you need to run AI algorithms, right? This is not going to handle that. This is just a very basic laptop. No game. Well, you might be able to get some games in it, but probably not much anyways. But anyway, so there's this option, the 7520, and then there's the 7730. And when we click on the 7730, ironically, what happens is it upgrades, it adds on. This is not ironic. It's good that it doubles the RAM, but you get slower RAM, because look at it. It's going to upgrade from the 8 gigabytes of 550 memory transfers per second to 16 gigabyte 3200. So it goes down. The speed of this RAM is slower. Now, you won't see, what's that? 1/4 less in terms of speed, hopefully, but it does mean that, there's some sacrifice being made here in the process. And however, it does upgrade when you go to the i7, the Ryzen 7, it does go from 512 gigabytes to a 1 terabyte. So you double the space of your hard disk storage in the process. All right. So it's a kind of trade-off. However, when we look at the price that you have to pay for it, I don't think it's worth it. And I'm really sad that Dell did this. Whatever the combination that they did here is, as I of course I can't say, but it feels like if they sabotaged these AMD laptops compared to the Intel options that are available. All right, so I don't know. I wouldn't suggest paying $700 for this one, even though the pass mark dramatically increases. So from 9, it doubles to 18. This is a powerful processor. But whether you should, it's a powerful processor in terms of the pass mark, but it's not a powerful processor in terms of being in 2024 when we have laptops now that have NPUs, neural processing units, which allow you to run AI models on your laptop itself, and that's more efficient and faster. Then it's probably better to get that for something near this price. I mean, you probably have to pay a little more, but I'm just saying you probably should be looking at that. Don't spend $700 now in 2024 to buy something this a little bit older in technology and what's happening as well. All right. That's not the sweet spot. The sweet spot is probably the cheaper one that has the 8 gigs. Obviously, with 8 gigs of memory, you're going to have less, you'll be able to run less less browser windows and stuff like that. But if you want a basic school laptop, and you could even get away with some basic work on this as well, you should be okay. You should be just okay with this laptop. What also, you don't have much options. It comes with a standard 1080p display. It's non-touch. And as when you look back at the other options for the Intel, they have touch screens. So as I said, why Dell did this, I don't know. I think that Intel tends to partner with these companies more and like push more. And I guess, I don't know, I wonder if they threaten them. I don't know. But anyways, I'm coming back here to say this one does actually come with a 120 frames per second display, which is good for the price. I can't remember ever seeing a laptop. Well, maybe there was one where, I don't even think so far in my reviews I saw one actually that has for $330 a 120 frame per second screen. That's a steal of a deal. Sweet spot this $329.99. Would it be good for games? Probably very low graphic games. You'd probably be able to run on this because it comes with the onboard Radeon graphics. But because it is an AMD 2023 laptop, the graphics might not be too bad. It probably is better than the Intel counterparts, I would say. All right, so something to think about. And with that being said, I think we finished with most of it. We're just going to look at what USB ports are available on this laptop and maybe if there's a camera, which it should have. It does come with a 720p camera. What do you expect for that price? Yeah, a 720p camera, okay? Meaning that, I mean, for meetings and stuff like that, I would recommend at least a 1080p camera. But, you know, you could get by with a 720p camera. All right, so we have one USB Type A port. That's the older port. That's the kind of rectangular port. And then there's the one USB Gen 1 Type C port, which is data only, right? So it doesn't do power, it just does data. And this is for, like, you know, your phone. Your phone has the USB Type C's. The newer model phones have that. And then you have one USB 2.0. So very similar to what our Intel review was previously. The USB 2.0 is a older model USB port that handles less speed, right? So that's what it is. So you get 3 total USB compatible ports. You get the HDMI to extend to a second screen, but that does not support 4K or 2K output. So for example, if you're watching Netflix or something and you have a 4K account on Netflix and you want to move that window to the external screen, if you add on a separate monitor, you will not be able to get 2K or 4K display out of it, right? So something to think about. It does come with an SD card reader, which is always good to have an SD card reader, even though maybe that technology will go out soon, or not so soon, but soonish. And it starts off at about 4 pounds, which is the standard weight. All right, so it's not going to be light, it's not going to be heavy, it's going to probably be in between. It's enough to probably pelt it at someone and it hurts somebody, right? These laptops are heavy enough like that. But with that being said, who would want to do that? Coming back to the battery life, this one actually has more battery life, and so that is really, really good. 11 hours is so far, when I looked at all the others, 11 hours is really good. All right, so that's another good thing about this $330 USD laptop that has my heart skipping at least one beat, right? Out of joy is this 11-hour battery life that it has. And with that being said, I think that we're done with this one. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this kind of helps you out. Would I recommend it for work? If you are like an admin assistant, not underestimating what an admin assistant does, but if you're going to do Word, Excel, PowerPoint, that kind of thing, this should work fine. It's not going to be the fastest laptop. It's far from being the slowest laptop. All right, it should work fine for that. As a student, if you're just going to do basic stuff as well in that category as well, you should be fine as well. If you're going to go with games, you should probably go with the i7, but not the i7, the Ryzen 7. But by that time, you should probably just look for another laptop that has a better spec processor, because, you know, it's not just games, but even games might have AI later on. So you want to think about that for the near future as well. With that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys again soon on another episode of RTHD coming to a YouTube screen near you. Take care. Bye-bye.